how natural it is for us to create barriers to the other. We just have to look at the history of our own nation. There has been a strong anti-Catholic current from the beginning. All you have to look at is in the state of Massachusetts, right here. It was illegal for Mass to be celebrated. In fact, a priest found in the Massachusetts colony would be put to death. And that lasted until the Revolutionary War. After the Revolutionary War, or actually during it, as New York was creating its constitution, it specifically wrote its oath of office in a particular way so that they knew no Catholic could ever take the oath of elected office. In Massachusetts, again, in 1840, they burnt down the Ursuline convent in Boston, or Charlestown, technically. And of course, there was a political party that was created for one purpose, the American Party, to ensure that Catholics would not come into this country. And of course, I'm sure you remember from history classes, the Irish need not apply. But it wasn't just that. In the late 1800s, we wrote immigration law specifically to prevent Asians from coming into our country. We set the quota to almost zero, particularly to prevent the Chinese and the Japanese from coming here. And of course, during the early 1900s, they rewrote the quotas for Eastern Europe because, well, they're undesirable. And so on and so forth. We can always find reasons for why the other doesn't belong, is not needed, needs to be kept apart. And unfortunately, that has been true also of our own church. We see it right from the beginning. As the Canaanite woman comes to Jesus seeking his help, what do? What do the disciples say? Send her away, for she keeps calling out after us. They don't invite her into Jesus. She's other. She doesn't belong. And Jesus apparently sort of goes along with them, not really, but appears to. It is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs. But her response is all that Jesus needs. Please, Lord, for even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their masters. We create artificial boundaries all the time. Just think of your favorite group right now that you believe doesn't belong in our church, for whatever reason we may come up with. The truth and the reality is our church is open to all. And Jesus makes that so clear today. What his criteria is very simple. O woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish. That is Jesus' only criterion for who belongs here. Is that they have faith in him. It's not a high bar, nor should it be. Because the truth and the reality is, as I have said over and over again, we are not the church of the perfect, far from it. I can at least say that for me. I just went to confession on Friday. We are the church of sinners striving for sainthood. We are a people who are in need of God's grace, mercy, and compassion. We are a people who recognize that our lives have no meaning apart from our God, apart from the salvation that our Savior, Jesus Christ, has won for us. And we recognize this fundamental truth that has been taught in our church from time immemorial. We are better than no one else. We are all in the same boat together. And as a church, we cannot create artificial barriers. No, that doesn't mean we accept behavior that we know to be wrong. We, of course, call all in. And like myself and everyone here, we each need to be challenged in our faith to live it out more fully, more deeply. There is no one here who should feel comfortable in their faith. As I always say, if you're comfortable in your faith, it means you're not actually living it. Our faith is a faith that challenges each and every person. And so, yes, everyone belongs. We must accept that all are being called by God and are welcomed here. It matters not where they are on their journey of faith. We are simply called to journey with them. As human beings, we like to set up a criteria for who belongs. We like to create our barriers for all who are somehow other. As a church, we must recognize that all are created by God, and all are equally loved by God, and therefore all are welcomed here. When Jesus walked this earth, they tried to create an artificial barrier to who had the right to approach him. And Jesus showed us the only thing he is looking for. May we do the same. O woman, great is your faith.